Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Meet the Coaches Athletic Academic Orientation. This year, we're going to hold all three levels, or all three seasons, the fall, the winter, and spring, all together in a different kind of form. And that is obviously due to where we are currently with the COVID pandemic. Mr. Gorski will address a little bit of that when I introduce him. But we're very excited to get going. We're very excited to obviously start the athletic activities part of our school year, which is just about up and running. And, you know, obviously that segues into the opening of school, which, you know, I always considered it to be kind of like that's the showtime. We're the opening act. And then once the school building opens up and everybody comes in and it really gets back and the community starts to get going and a lot of exciting things that start to take place after that. But at this time, again, I'd like to introduce everybody that's on our call. We have obviously our principal, Mr. Gorski, our vice principal, Miss Matina. Miss Matina, are you there? She is there. Mr. Denny, there she is. Mr. Denny, the president of the Parents Committee for Athletics. And last but not least, Mrs. Katz, the lifeline and the motor of our athletic department.
Oh dear.
Miss Diane Katz.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, this is obviously a different format. You know, if you asked us 5-10 years ago, would we ever be opening up a school year in this sort of fashion? We probably would not have even dreamed of something like this. But I would like to say we're in a lot better shape than we were last year. We're in a much better place, and we're excited. I know the coaches are excited, the kids are excited to start off this athletic season with some sort of normalcy. You know, there'll obviously be protocols and stuff in place, but we are excited. And at this time, just to give an overview and an update on things, I'd like to introduce our school principal, Mr. Paul Gorski, who will address everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Robinson, and thank you all for tuning in to this program. As Mr. Robinson said, we were hoping that we would not be starting off in a virtual way with a program like this, but we felt as though it was the best way to get information out to everyone, no matter what season you participate in, as for our students and for our families, and just to sort of give an update of where we are headed into the 2021-2022 school year. It's really great for Mr. Denny and for the PCA to be represented here. Last school year, we really worked hand in hand with the organization to support all of our programs throughout all of our seasons. It was an extremely challenging school year, so I want to really start off by thanking Mr. Denny and all of our parents, for being Cutter strong, for helping and supporting our student athletes and performers throughout last school year, because it was a really rough one. Whether the students were in the building or whether they learned remotely, it was tough. And the activities that they were able to do with their teams, with their groups, and the families, essentially, that I like to say that they form as a result of those activities, were really what sustained and kept our kids going. And that's why we feel so strongly that these programs, these athletic and extracurricular programs, are really the backbone of our school, because they really engage students in ways that also improves their academic performance. Study after study has shown that students who are engaged in multiple school activities with different peer groups also perform better academically. They learn how to budget their time better, and they really gain motivation and a lot of discipline and important skills in terms of their school performance. So that's something that we're very, very committed and dedicated to. Every time that, we take steps forward, sometimes we take a half a step back. And so, we were really, full steam heading into, what we were planning for September. And then we have the Delta variant, and we have the mask mandate, and we have, some potential kicks that we get. And that's really been the story since March of 2020. But the other part of the story, that's the positive part of the story, is how much closer we've all gotten as a community, how many different ways we're communicating with one another, sharing information, teaming with one another to all come together for the goal of Fairlawn High School athletics and activities and for our students. So I'm very proud to be part of that. And I'm very much looking forward to each and every one of these activities over the course of this school year. It's the nice part about having this program cover all the different seasons is that everyone is connected and everyone feels that same kicking off point. Even if a student doesn't do something until next spring, next calendar year, the end of the school year, still we're going to be all on the same page. We're all going to be moving forward. All along the way, as Mr. Robinson said, we're here for you. We're here to address any questions, concerns that you have along the way, to be, supportive in every single way we can, and to logistically on our end, make sure that all of our programs run smoothly. So again, I hope that you enjoy the time interacting with your kids' coaches, which is coming up in this program, because they really are the key movers in our programs. They're the ones that set the tone. They're the ones that provide the leadership example for our young people, and they're the ones that we rely upon to facilitate really great experiences and memorable experiences for all the right reasons for our students. So I want to thank them also in advance, because coaching was always a challenging exercise, and it's become doubly or triply more so as we navigate ourselves through the pandemic. So Mr. Robinson, thank you for putting this program together. And once again, I just want to say how proud I am of every single student and all of our families and our entire community for coming together and putting our best foot forward and really stepping strongly into the 2021-2022 school year. Go Cutters. Mr. Robinson, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gorski, for that informative overview. Mr. Lecicero, our athletic trainer, and Mrs. Murata, our school nurse, are going to speak last at this in a separate Zoom. They're going to be added into this Zoom, and they're going to have a little bit more specific information about the medical side of things. So they will speak last, but moving right along as we talk about upcoming, activities and events is the most important thing in any of our, activities or athletic programs is the academic side of the piece. And, we like to say that we are, an academic, based athletic program. And that is our goal. Our goal is to always make sure our students are working hard in the classroom from 8 to 3. And then when they, eventually get to the, the fields or the courts, that their second part of their day is also ready to go. But, the second part of the day doesn't happen without, focus and hard work in the morning and early afternoon in their classes with their teachers. So just to further on that a little bit, we're going to invite our Vice Principal, Ms. Mattina, to speak. Ms. Mattina?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our families and to our student athletes. We're happy to have you joining this program tonight and hearing a little bit more about what you can expect during the upcoming school year. We're excited to partner with you, and we want you to know that it's our job to ensure your students, athletes have success, not just in their classes, but in their sports as well. We work as a team alongside their teachers, coaches, and counselors to make sure the necessary supports are in place so that they can manage the academic piece and the athletic piece simultaneously. Academic eligibility is something that gets followed very closely, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to ensure that all of our students have access to the sports that they love. So here's to a healthy, successful school year and sports season. Go Cutters.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mattina. Okay, we're gonna now send it over to our president of the Committee for Athletics, our PCA president, Mr. Gerard Denny. Gerard is going to tell you a little bit about our athletic program from the parental side. He does a great job, and I'd like everybody to say hello to Mr. Denny.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. As you know, my name is Gerard Denny. I am a 1989 graduate of Fairlawn High School. I was a three-sport athlete, so I am very invested in our school. This is really unprecedented times, and we all have to work together. The PCA is the Parents Committee for Athletics. The PCA promotes school pride and good sportsmanship throughout all the students. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that raises money both by donation, with donations, both time, money, however we can get it to sponsor our athletes. During the season, you'll be invited to our monthly meetings. Those meetings will be on our high school website under the Parents Committee for Athletics. We are solely run on volunteers. We will need as many volunteers as possible. So any parent that wants to volunteer, please join us in making your student athlete experience at Fairlawn High School more enjoyable. Once again, I want to thank everybody for their help in advance. Let's make this year the best year yet under these unprecedented times. And coming from a Fairlawn alumni, now that our new parents, our freshman parents, and our new sophomores, juniors, and senior parents, now you are a Cutter. So I will always say, once a Cutter, always a Cutter, and go Cutters. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Denny. Just to the parents out there that are watching the video here, I get a lot of questions when I'm at games, and a lot of them are always, obviously parent related, getting involved, etc. And I always say, did you talk to the parents committee president or one of the members of the executive committee? And they say, well, I didn't want to bother them. And I think Mr. Denny would agree with this. Is I don't think you're bothering them. They want help. They want more people involved, and they want more input and so forth. So feel free to send an email, and they'll get back to you within 24 hours because they really want help, and we want more involvement from our parent base, because the more parents that are involved, the more students will be involved, and they'll want to give all their efforts and time into their programs that they're interested in. So at this time, before I conclude things and discuss what I'd like to discuss, I'm going to introduce the key cog in the athletic program, Miss Diane Katz, the athletic secretary, one of the top ones in the state of New Jersey. Miss Katz.
Wow. Big job, Corey. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak as well. We at the athletic office do miss our student athletes. I miss seeing everyone coming back, and I'm looking forward to seeing them come back this year in the fall. I have followed many of them throughout, the upperclassmen and now the incoming freshmen and all new students coming in. It'll be fun to have them back in the school, unfortunately under same COVID conditions, but a mask is what we can only ask for. I basically have spoken to many of the parents in our community, and I feel although I don't live in Fair Lawn, I feel it's majorly part of our big community. I have expressed very much, and I've also given them information as to how to get to our schedules and information. Everything is on our school website. Please, I strongly urge parents to look at our Fair Lawn High School website, go under athletics. We have all information there for you. It's updated for fall, winter, and spring. We have all our coaches' information. We have emails. We have dates, requirements. Just about everything is listed there for your convenience, and the forms that you need as well. Aside from that, our athletic schedule is, you can access it through that website, and you can get an app on your phone, and you can also log in so that you can get changes to our, if there's any game changes. It's very important to do that in the event that you're driving to your child's game and it has been switched at the last minute, and you can set it on your phone so that you get messages and text messages to the changes. That is very important for you. We do keep our kids safe. We have them on our buses. We still follow the COVID rules. It's half staffed on the bus, so it's 22 people on the bus right now until other things change. We're here to help you. We're here to answer your questions. My email is on the website. I answer all emails. Yeah, I'll answer them in English, Spanish, Italian, whatever language you'd like to send them to me, I will answer them. So please feel free to send me whatever you need and whatever information you're missing, and we will help you with that. Our goal is to, really improve our program, keep it going. And as I always say to the students, you're a student athlete, student first, athlete second. So keep your grades up, keep sports eligible, and you'll do just fine your 4 years at Fair Lawn High. So I expect a great year and more to come. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Katz. I appreciate that. Getting parents the information all the time and being available via phone call, via email. And I think that's a big piece in our school that we are really do well at, and we will continue to do that. So I'd like to just hit on a couple of quick things. I know you guys want to get moving into the next part of the meeting and meet your coaches, which we will do shortly. But on our website, we have a link that says philosophy. If everybody gets a chance in the next day or two, if you can read what our philosophy is, and in the, underneath the philosophy piece is a sportsmanship / academic piece to it as well. And it just goes over some of the specifics that we feel are very important involving our program. And just to reiterate a little bit, on our philosophy, we want kids to be involved. We want kids that played in our all sports program or in our travel programs and so forth. We want them to come to high school with excitement. We want them to want to be a cutter. Okay, our parents committee for athletics started something called Cutter Nation. Okay, we want our students to be part of Cutter Nation. We have a few banners down in our middle schools that says our Cutter Nation on it and so forth. So we want to segue all of our elementary and middle school students to want to be a part of Cutter Nation and be a cutter, and that starts as soon as they get here in 9th grade. I think Mr. Gorski mentioned it a little bit when he spoke, but just a sidebar to it. I hear some parents say, well, we're not going to play, in an activity or play a sport freshman year because we want them to concentrate on their academics. And, my response to that is, you're always going to have to concentrate on your academics. And I think it's proven, statistically, that kids that are involved in the marching band, in the play, in a sports team, in a program, they will do better academically. And I could speak through experience. I have 3 sons, 2 in high school, and out of season, their grades are not as good. In season, their grades are much better. And I think that's the involvement with coaches, the involvement with their teammates, and, studying on the bus, studying after practice, maybe going, helping each other out with tutoring and things like that. So I think it's just important, get them going, get them into sports. The other thing that's changed the last, this is my 19th year at Fair Lawn, 16 years in this position. And one of the big things that has changed is kids used to, have a little bit of, let's just suppose they were, they're soccer players or they're playing a full sport, and they don't have that much experience in the spring with a lacrosse or a track or a, tennis or so forth. But 15 years ago, they would have tried that. Now it's kind of gotten away from that to where the basketball player is a 12-month basketball player, and the bowler is a 12-month bowler, and the fencer is a 12-month fencer. And, it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, I think it's really, really important for kids that are in one activity, one sport, go do something else, go try something else. Because if you're good or you're a hard worker in as a football player, most likely you're going to be a hard worker playing, baseball, lacrosse, or whatever the other activity would be. But I think it's really important that we do get our kids playing 2 sports. 3 sports would obviously be something great too. But I think 2 sports is a nice place to start when you come into high school. It doesn't have to be sports. It could be, you could be involved with the play. You could be involved with a club or so forth. But I think it's the more involvement, the better and well-rounded student will be. And as far as the expectation, when it comes to sportsmanship, when it comes to, the overall after-school activities, and we run hundreds of events every year here, and we take pride in how we run our events. And Mr. Gorski would second this, Ms. Matina would second, everybody would. We want to win all our events. Of course we do. We go to a competition, we want to win. But before we want to win, we want to make sure our kids and our coaches and our parents are all on the same page with what's important. Okay, so it's goes back years. It's called the PCPR rule. Okay, parents parent, coaches coach, our athletes or players play, and the refs ref. And we as parents, again, as a high school, a parent of 2 students in high school, my job there is to encourage them and to cheer for their teammates. Other than that, outside of that, that is your role as the parent at the game, to cheer for the team, cheer for your son or your daughter, and that's a great place to enjoy yourself for an hour or 2 after a hard day's work or on a Saturday. You want to cheer for your son and cheer for the team. When you go to the left or to the right of that and you start saying specific things, what they should be doing as far as if they're on a court or on the field or in the pool or wherever they are, that's what our coaches are for. So when you go into specifics and you're yelling instructions from the stands or from the side or wherever, that's that is not something that's good. It's not good for our team. It's not good for your son or your daughter, and it's not good for our coaching staff. Okay, so I think that's really important, and I don't think your sons or daughters want that anyway. So I think it's important. Let our coaches coach. Okay, coaches coach. That's why we hired them. We hire really good people to do these jobs. And I think while the intention is right, I think it's not a good, healthy situation. It's not healthy for the program. Not healthy for your son or your daughter. Let our coaches coach your kids. Okay, players will play. Students will play. The objective there is do it with sportsmanship. Compete with class. Okay, compete as hard as you can. And again, listen, we've all played. Everybody on here has been involved in athletics. How many times did I play a game, or Mr. Gorski could say this too, we play a game, we lose, we didn't, but we gave it all of it, we gave 100% and we fell short. Well, that's a part of it, and I think that's important, and we want to do it with class. We want to be able to shake hands at the end of the game. Hopefully shake hands this year. A lot of sports we didn't last year. But you want to be able to shake hands at the end of the game with respect. And, I don't believe there's, again, going back 15 years, 20 years, there was no trash talk. If it was very, very minimal. Now, our students are growing up in a society with YouTube, and they're pressing buttons and they're listening to, players from all sports talk trash and things like that. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable by the NJSA or Athletic Association. It's definitely not acceptable from Fair Lawn High School. So we want to make sure that that is something that is, we do, and our coaches will instill that in our kids to the best of their ability. And lastly, our referees. There's a shortage of referees like the last 16 months. Now, part of that is due to COVID, but the numbers have been going down like the last 3 years. And a lot of it is because, they're taking a lot of verbal abuse from spectators, from athletes, from coaches. And it's kind of like a big circle of, negativity. And I don't, see it really much in our conference per se, in the Big North Conference, but it's there, and I think it's important that, we make sure we make the referees feel welcome. We do when they walk into our building here in our volleyball gyms, wrestling matches, and so forth. But referees shouldn't have to hear negative, statements from spectators or from athletes or coaches. Okay, referees will make bad calls. They will make great calls. One call usually 99% of the time doesn't decide a game, because whatever the sport is, it's if it's a hockey game, it's 45 minutes. If it's a basketball game, it's 30 something minutes, and soccer is 80 and so forth. So there's lots of time to overcome a one bad call in a game. And usually if they make a bad call on your team, there's be a bad call on the other team as well. So just to also mention, and Mr. Barada and Mr. Lecicero are going to mention the medical part of it when they're up next. But physicals, right now where we are, this has been the best summer period we've had as far as athletic physicals getting in on time. We are, this is 16 years. This is by far the best we've ever had, and a lot of that is, based on our parents' commitment to get everything done. We were able to get the word out to our middle school principals with our Google Classroom setups. And obviously Mrs. Katz and Mrs. Murata and Mr. Lecicero have done a great job. I can't say the number of calls this summer was reduced by 95% as far as issues go. Maybe there was some, a lot of general calls, but nothing out of the ordinary. And, it's just great to see that we really had a really smooth transition into the fall preseason. And just to look at the dates for the winter, our winter sports physicals are due to the nurse on October the 29th, and our spring are due on February 11th, just to keep note of that. And I think it's going to be a very, very exciting year. We're hopeful, as Mr. Gorski and Ms. Matina mentioned earlier, we're hopeful that we get through everything and everything stays kind of contained. But if it doesn't, we'll be able to adjust and move in different directions and navigate our way. And I'd like to thank the parents for all their flexibility last year. The flexibility word is key, because I can't tell you how many days, the principal called me at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock with news that we had to shut down an event. And usually it wasn't one event, it would trickle into 2 different events, because it would, it would go into different sports and activities. So it was really, really tough. But again, the MVPs last year were our students, our parents, and our coaches, because they were able to navigate and deal with so many different things coming at them. And it was a challenge, but we feel like we're in a lot better place, and we're excited. And I think our kids are excited watching them at practice so far. There's a lot of energy, and last year there was a lot of trepidation. There was a lot of nervousness. This year there's just a lot of positive energy and good vibes. So we're going to turn it over to Mr. Lecicero and then Mrs. Murata, and we're going to then release you guys into the Meet the Coaches part of the program, which would be meeting our fall, winter, and spring head coaches. So on to Mr. Lecicero. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Murata, one of the school nurses at Fairlawn High School. Welcome to Fairlawn Athletics. I'm here to discuss a little bit about the physicals. You have to have a physical on file that's valid for 365 days. You need to do an update for each additional sport that you're going to be doing for the year. Paperwork can be found online at the Fairlawn High School website under the Students tab, under the Athletics tab, under Forms and Tryouts. we need number 1 from the tryout papers completed by a physician at least once a year, usually for the fall semester, fall sports. After that, we need pages 6 and 11 signed by a parent and or guardian. It's an updated physical. You would need that for subsequent tryouts. Just so that you know, handing in the papers is not all that you have to do medically. It has to get cleared by the nurse's office, and then we send it over to the school physician for clearance as well. It's not just your doctor that clears you, it's your doctor plus the school doctor. This process can take up to 2 weeks, which is why we have deadlines that we try to follow. We will try to process you as quickly as possible if you miss the deadline for any reason, but bear with us, okay? I think that's it for me. Welcome to Fairlawn Sports. Go Cutters.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce our athletic trainer, Mr. Jason Lecicero. Jason?
Hi, as Mr. Robinson said, my name is Jason Lecicero. Most of your children will call me Jay. I'm responsible for the health and well-being of all student athletes that get injured during athletic events or practices. If you have any questions or concerns about your child, please feel free to reach out to me at 201-794-5450, extension 1230. Or it's better to reach out via email because I can check it throughout the day at jlocicero@fairlawnschools.org. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jay. Okay, in closing, I'd like to just want to thank everybody involved with our program for all the support. Okay, we look forward to a great 21-22 school year, and we're excited to get the kids back in the building. I'd like to have special thanks to our superintendent and our entire Board of Education for all they do in supporting our athletes. Okay, everybody have a great night. Enjoy. Thank you.